It is Sunday, 9 a.m. in Chicago. I wanted to do a ladies chat. I feel like a lot of my lives the last few weeks have been dominated by talking about men, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I definitely want to chat with the ladies a bit. Men are welcome, but I definitely wanted to touch on the manosphere and what's going on right now because I accidentally opened a hornet's nest and I want to talk about it. So I had posted on my page a reel that says normalize breaking up with men that don't do their emotional healing. And that was very triggering to a lot of people. Hey, Darren. Morning. Happy 4th. And it was very triggering to this man. And he said that working on your emotional aspects is only for women. And that struck a chord with me because I don't understand why working on your emotions would only be a woman's thing. And again, this is a one guy in all the men population. But there were several men that were agreeing with him. And so I made a follow-up reel and I posted it yesterday and it's at 15,000 views and about, I think, 600 comments. And I also posted it on TikTok as well. And it's at about, I think, 12,000 views and hundreds of comments there too. And it's fascinating because the first 24 hours on Instagram, the comments were very lovely. The comments were men who were genuinely providing input and, explaining their feelings. They were very grounded. They were very polite. They were having a conversation. They weren't doing one of these. Right. And I loved it. And we were having paragraph conversations with one another back and forth. And you can go to my social media. You can see the TikTok one. The Instagram one is a trial reel, so you can't see it yet. I'm gonna post it later today to my feed. But then after about 10 hours of these beautiful in-depth conversations of men sharing their vulnerabilities and why they had felt like they had been rejected once and that caused them to have a guard up, or in their family life, their mom wasn't really a good representation of women, so then they just felt like they couldn't trust women, or someone cheated on them and they just felt like they had seen a new side to women, that they just felt like women were adulterous. And they were very open about why they were frustrated with the females. And then about, like I said, 10 to 12 hours later, it turned and it became like flooded with men blaming me. Literally me. Literally Lisa. They were literally flow state. Yes, it is. These men were literally attacking Lisa, sight unseen. Never knew me. Didn't know I do these live talks. Didn't know that I reach out about men and their emotions, and I care about men and their emotions, and about starting this channel because I lost my brother who couldn't be in his emotions. Like, they knew nothing about that, and they came for me and attacked me unnecessarily, unprovoked. And it is so confusing to me, but at the same time so clear to me, because what's been going in human society for thousands of years is putting against one another, right? So there's the race, there's the financial, now there's the gender. It's just anything that can be done to make, confrontation and war and frustration and irritation. And a lot of the comments from the more recent conversations have been that women started this. This is women's fault. Women are to blame. And it's fascinating to me. And I'm just used to a more masculine man who takes accountability for his feelings. I mean, you guys see Austin on my channel all the time. Austin's a very level-headed man. There are level-headed men, and there are so many beautiful, gentle, giant men. There are so many kind, like on this channel, on my Instagram, on my TikTok, there's so many kind and loving men that are grounded that, ladies, I really today wanted to talk about how to navigate this, because in one breath, we have men that are very upset with the female species and blaming women and coming after women and doing one of these and treating women poorly. And then in the next breath, we have women that are mad about how they're being treated and treating men like garbage now. So it's just spiraling and tornadoing. So all you can focus on is yourself. This is what I wanted to say to all the men in the comment sections that are doing this. It's your fault. You did this. Women are this. Like, you're only in control of yourself. You can only control your mental mindset. You can only control your behaviors and actions. Just because there are people on the internet saying a certain thing, you don't have to watch it. And actually, a few of the guys were like, you should watch the manosphere because you clearly don't know what it is, and you should educate yourself and watch this stuff. No, I don't wish to toxic my brain with content that doesn't feel positive and add value to my life. I'm very focused on data in is what I become, right? So the food that I eat is what I become. So I don't eat sugar, I don't eat fast food, I don't drink alcohol. I've recently quit all caffeine. You guys know I'm a matcha obsessor. I love my matcha. I travel the world looking for matcha. I went to Japan and brought home hundreds of dollars worth of matcha. And I've gone 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 3 weeks now, no matcha, because I heard that it has heavy metals in it. I was getting really inflamed. So I'm making choices on living my best life, on having my best body. I'm having my healthiest mindset, healthiest relationships. And that doesn't mean consuming content that is attacking someone for a gender, for a race, for a financial obligation. I actually have stopped watching Netflix and HBO. I have them. I sit down on the couch when I have my food ready to go to watch something, and I'm like, there's nothing here for me. I watch YouTube. Last night I watched a historical video talking about a gentleman who, when he was 38 years old, went on a podcast, and he had written a book about the quantum physics world and how there are alternate dimensions, and you're on one timeline in one dimension. And like a few days after the podcast, he was to me, that's the documentaries that I want to be watching. I want to be studying the people that they're silencing. So I'm not going to find that on Netflix and HBO. So I'm not going to consume that. And I'm not going to go watch someone talking about the manosphere, especially not talking about how men should behave. I'm not a man. I don't want to do that. Do I watch content where women belittle men? Absolutely not. That's like literally the opposite of what my content is. My literal content is encouraging men and being nice to men and feeling bad that men have been isolated from having emotions and feelings and vulnerability. And that's partially why my brother died, is because of that. So when someone who does not know me comes in my comment section and internet trolls me saying that I'm a narcissist and that I'm the problem, I have an issue with that. So ladies, I today wanted to talk to you about boundaries and how to handle men of these mindsets, because there is no talking clear to crazy. Okay, you cannot get through to someone. And what, as a hypnotherapist, as someone that speaks on this content a lot, I understand that the men that are doing this at me are hurting here. I understand that the men yelling the loudest are hurting here. Okay, I have empathy. I have love. Yes, ladies, I actually have love for these men. Even though I have love for them, but I will not engage. I will not allow them in my space. And they, one by one, are being blocked. Blocked, yes. Every single one of them. Blocked, blocked, blocked. Now, I could restrict them and keep the number and go viral and whatever. But there was also one man in my comment section that was like, well, Lisa, you don't have 1 million followers, so your voice doesn't mean anything. And I said, how dare you? I have an army of 5,000. YouTube, I have an army of 13,000 people that are interested in hearing what I have to say. And if I help 1, 2, maybe 3 of those people, great. Sounds lovely. I'm not focused on running like the hare in a circus of trying to get through to society to make changes. I'm here for one at a time. And if I help a few every day, that sounds amazing to me because it's genuine. It's real. It's not performative. It's not for an algorithm. It's not for a number. It's not for a paycheck. I genuinely wish to help heal the relationship between men and women because I think above everything else on this planet, we need each other. We crave each other. We desire each other. We want to have that relationship with one another. Like, ladies, I know that you're looking for a man that like loves you. And I know there are men looking to be loved. They may be covering it for ego and self-esteem purposes. They may be covering it because this is shattered. Because listen, the only way that I can explain to a man when I'm done with someone, like I was a member of Soho House for 4 or 5 years, and I would do live events with Soho House members. I've traveled to other Soho Houses and given talks about this content. I was leading a walking club every other week. I was a big contributor to my house, and the Soho House did something dirty to me. And I was like, I don't stand for this. I'm going to go. And there was a man in my gym who was like, oh, Lisa, come on. Come on. You're going to miss this place. You love this place. You've given so much to this place. You've built so much community here. And I looked at him and I knew he's a man. He's going to get it if I say this. I looked at him and I said, it's like they cheated on me. And he goes, oh, say less. I get it. Once a man has been cheated on, he's like shattered, okay? So there is like this forever burn on men from the way that a woman has treated him. And a lot of women have daddy issues. I'm recovering from this. And a lot of men have mommy issues. I'm not a man, so I can't speak on that. But I think the lack of education and how to be a parent causes people to accidentally be mistreated. And that plays out into all of their future relationships. So if you've had a mom that was cold and distant, maybe because she has daddy issues and the husband relationship wasn't going well, so the mom couldn't sugarcoat her expressions and she was cunty to the son, probably he's got some mommy issues and he's an avoidant. So ladies, I want you to just remember to stay in your lane. The phone keeps sliding down. I suction it onto my computer so I don't have to hold it, and it just keeps. Oh, Yoda's in the house. Thank you. Yoda's the bodyguard. We love Yoda. So I just wanted to reinforce that how someone treats you, it could be man or woman. I feel like there's some men in the comment section. I haven't been looking down yet. Parent issues are, I think, a major issue. And I think insecurity plays a big role in this. I think if, one of the guys was saying like, oh, I don't look like other guys. I don't have a big wallet. I don't have anything that I can offer. These ladies are gold diggers. Yes, there are gold diggers. Absolutely. There are. And if we look at history, men always had to kind of pay for a wife. It's called the dowry. So women have always been purchased in a sense, right? Prostitution being the first, I think, career women could do. This is just history, I believe. So when someone is frustrated that a woman wants to be provided for before offering her ooey gooey feminine sensuality, I can't vibe with that. I don't vibe with a man receiving all of the feminine ooey gooey goods without providing something first. Because you see, what I think, and women join in on this if you have an experience on this. I think men are very unaware of how often women are essayed. Me personally, I've been essayed more times than probably any of you have had serious relationships. And that's a real thing. That's a real issue that we as women have to deal with. We have to have that consequence. I actually was essayed a few months ago. I believe I talked about it on one of my vlogs. I was just out for a walk by myself at 5 o'clock in Chicago, 5 p.m. And there were probably 30 people around, and I had a man essay me. A stranger, a man I didn't know, decided to rub my female areas. Never had talked to him in my life. He just walked up behind me and went for it. So this is why women are frustrated. This is why women are like getting really upset and frustrated with men. But I think a lot of what you're seeing about this feminism and going after men and attacking is for the algorithm. And I think it's the same with the manosphere. I think it's for the algorithm. I think it's being perpetuated by the political party right now in that, like, you know, we are powerful men and we take back power and whatever. Because what's coming up in my comment section is that feminism is the reason why women suck now. That's why men don't like women, is because of feminism. And I don't really want to speak on that because I don't understand why feminism is so triggering and what started feminism. And I wasn't around in that time to understand that what feminism was. It's like explaining COVID to someone in like 20 years from now that didn't know anything about, like, hey, what do you mean you wore a really thin paper mask to stop spreading this virus? Like, I don't believe that tiny little mask really did anything. And what do you mean, like, standing a few feet apart was gonna help you? Like, and what do you mean you injected a vaccine that wasn't really tested? And what do you mean now people that were vaccinated are passing very quickly, suddenly, for weird things? Like, what do you mean you voluntarily let someone inject you, right? So I can't speak to what happened with feminism because I wasn't there. I can speak onto COVID, right? Because I was there. But what I can speak on is my environment, what I perceive, what I'm consuming, what I'm believing, what I'm feeling internally. And I feel for men. Do I get really, really hurt when these men come in my comment section and attack me sight unseen without knowing me and tell me I'm a narcissist and I'm an abusive person and whatever? I have issue with that. And some of them I have commented back that how they're speaking to me without knowing me is exactly what women's issues are. And they just keep going. And it's not my responsibility to help you fix how you perceive me. It is none of my business what you think of me. It's a very freeing statement. I'd like you to repeat that after me. It is none of my business what someone else thinks about me. Because it's not. Because even if you were perfect, even if you were the epitome of their perfect person, you would do things that they didn't like. You would say things that they didn't appreciate. You would behave in a way that they would think was wrong. Because that's just human nature. Because we all have our own reality. We all live within our own reality. And when someone is outside of that reality, we're like, what is that? So even if you are perfect, listen, I'm a recovering people pleaser. I had narcissistic parents. Yes, I had both narcissistic father and mother. I know what it's like to be put through the churn on performative life of how to pretend for someone else's happiness. I lived that 30-something years. I got chills. Terrible. Over half of my life so far, I have been a people pleaser. And I've learned that no matter how perfect I am for that person, I'm still going to disappoint them. And if anything, I don't wish to really ever be in a relationship with anyone ever again that expects me to be perfect. because I will never be perfect. I am not perfect. I am a flawed human being in this beautiful vessel that I was gifted. For those of you that don't know me, I do believe that we incarnate and we choose our family, we choose our, parents. I believe that we choose the life that we have. There's a man that I was watching a podcast for earlier last week that is a billionaire. And his child had some rare disease and passed. And it sounds terrible to say, but I believe when people incarnate with a disease, they've chosen that disease before they incarnate to teach people lessons. And I think that this man who was gifted with the ability to make billions of dollars received a son who was ill to teach him humility, to teach him the value of being quiet, of just sitting, the depth of a relationship being valuable. And I could see while he was on this podcast processing that and expressing that. And his heart had been so open by the unfortunate loss of his son, right? My heart has been cracked open by the unfortunate loss of watching my brother drowned. I know a lot of people that have had near-death experiences that come back and have such a different, empathetic, kind, soft-tempered mindset and personality and behaviors, because the pain that you experience and witness, you realize what's actually important. And what's actually important is how you show up as a human. You can't control how someone else thinks about you. You can't manipulate it so that everyone in the world likes you. Listen, the more people dislike you, the more you're on the right path. Now, I'm not saying that to be like narcissistic and take advantage of people and be mean to people. But when you voice an opinion and you cater your niche, your content to people that are like you and genuinely understand you and agree with you, that's when you find your community. And I think these content creators saw an opportunity, the manosphere and the feminist, whatever thing it's called. I'm not going to watch because I don't adhere to that. And I wouldn't date someone that has those mentalities. So I wouldn't want to consume that content because there's no need for it. There's no one I'm going to be speaking about that content with, because that doesn't ring true to who I am on the inside. I'm about giving back. I'm about kindness. I'm about seeing people for where they're at. When I lost my mom, I didn't take off work and I went to a meeting, and the agent was being very cunty, and she said something and I was like, meh. And she was like, how dare you? And I said, did your mom just die? Because mine did. She was like, what are you doing working? And she became such a kind soul to me. She flipped in a second. She had been so like, cold. And as soon as I explained where my heart was coming from, she hugged me. She was like, oh my God, why are you working? What are you doing here? So to me, empathy is what's missing. And I think it's intentional. I think it's being pitted against one another. I think it's been race, it's been financial, it's been gender, it's been class, it's been height. There's so many men in the comment section on this video talking about, because I'm less than 6 foot, I'm worthless. Sir, I almost married a 5'10" person. I'm 5'11". He was shorter than me. And their immediate response is, yeah, almost. Sir, he assaulted me. That's why it was almost. It's not because he was 5'10". Like, they just are so, and it's both genders, men and women, but everyone is just so riled up right now that I wanted to help the ladies. I feel like there might be some men because I'm seeing some male names down here. I feel like paying attention to your lane, focusing on what you're feeding your algorithm. This is an algorithm, okay? This brain, this subconscious part of you, there's the conscious brain. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to take this vitamin. This is conscious. I'm consciously aware of what I'm doing, okay? But I'm not conscious that I'm blinking. I'm not conscious that I'm going to digest these. Your heart is unconsciously beating. That's not the right word. Unconscious. Subconsciously beating. Sorry, I just woke up. Your heart is subconsciously beating. You're not telling your heart, pump. Oh, I'm nervous. Heart, pump faster. Oh, I'm excited. Heart, pump faster. You're not thinking that. It just does it. There are parts of you that are subconsciously programmed accidentally by your parents and people in your youth. You were programmed. You were set up in a certain way. So it is your job as a human in the human existence to break free. That is your life's purpose. Are you listening? Did you catch that? Do you need me to repeat that? To me, my opinion of your human existence is to break free of everything that you are hearing around you. I don't want a single person, including myself, to influence you in a way that you don't choose to be influenced. I'm not an influencer. When people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" and I'm like, "Oh, I have I have a YouTube channel and whatever." They're like, "Oh, you're an influencer." Absolutely not. I am not an influencer. I do not wish. Do you know how many brands have reached out to me to hawk their shitty products on you? I'm talking hundreds of brands have reached out to me to pay me to get you to buy shit that I think is shit. I'm not going to sell you shit I wouldn't buy with my own money. That's why I don't talk a lot about brands. Revolve clothing, I wear that. I own that. I purchased that. So I talk about that. Some of the brands that Revolve, I hate it. I tell you which ones I hate. Some of them I love. I love them. I tell you. I am not going to influence you. And this is something that I think a lot of influencers lose sight of. They become content creators, brand deals reach out, offer them money, and they start taking it. And their channel changes. And I think that these people that are doing manosphere and the feminine, whatever the thing sphere is called, are just cashing a check. And you guys, not you guys, the people watching are just the peanut gallery that they're entertaining. They're just the circus attendees, and they're doing the trapeze. They're getting the lion to stand up so the crowd can cheer. It's all performative. It's not really how they're feeling. So yeah, ladies, was I upset that these men were coming for my soul? Because when you try to tell me that I'm a narcissist and that I'm evil and that I'm all these terrible, terrible things and it's all my fault, I am, as a recovering people pleaser, I'm hurt. I don't know why it's like not cool to tell people when they hurt your feelings now. I don't know. There was a term I saw yesterday on social media where it's like the youngest generations find it very uncool to admit that they have emotions about something. Like never admitting, like I've dated 3 men in their 28th year of life recently. For some reason, all 3 of them, I didn't know when I met them, were all 28 when I dated them. And they all tried to play it so cool to not let me know that they actually liked me. Like, I could tell they liked me. I knew they liked me. Physically, their body language was saying they really liked me. But they tried to play it so cool by not communicating, not calling or texting, not setting up dates, which as a grounded woman is very unattractive. But their generation is afraid to be seen because they don't want to be rejected. Because this manosphere mentality of, don't be these ways because you don't want to get hurt is definitely clouding their ability to be open. That's heartbreaking to me because I know these men wanted love. I know men want love. I know men on this channel right now. I know even though you're trolling or even if you're being nice, you want love ultimately. It is a human desire, just like water for survival, sleep, food. Love is a natural thing that you crave and desire. You can try to tell me that you don't need it and then you're fine and that your bank account is growing and you have so much peace or whatever, but deep down I know that you would love a love relationship if it was on your terms, right? So that's, again, where it's coming combative. So Let me go back through the comments and see if anybody has any questions. Let's see. Let's see. I don't drink, Elliot, so I'm not going to be, doesn't make any sense why you would even ask me that. Acknowledging is not the same as accepting. I don't know what your reference is to that. Trust, nobody wants to hurt anymore. People get hurt when they lose a pet. They still go get another pet, okay? I mean, also, I think you came here to feel your feels. I think you came to the human experience to feel all the emotions, to feel pain, to feel excitement, to feel loss, to feel, what's the word when you win something? Competition? I don't know. I don't, that's not the word. Let's see. I have visited Ireland, Josh. I went to Dublin and Killarney. Let's see. Good morning. Get it before I take it. So what a name. Thank you, Stephen. I can only speak on myself, so I'm glad that you can relate to that. Yeah, Arnold, I'm so sorry. I can relate to that. My dad liked Stewart's Special Blend coffee and Camel non-filters. Fun fact, my first cigarette was at 12 years old. Yeah. Oh, Rice, I'm glad you find me very interesting. I am quite interesting. Brigitte Nielsen. Okay, Tony. All right, I'll take it. Jesus does love me. Jesus does love me. It's very important for us men to have something to offer. Fills us with purpose. It is, exactly. Thank you for saying that, Stephen. It is very important for men to have a purpose. And I think what was going on in the comments yesterday on this video was having the manosphere has given men purpose. Having this community, even though it's to like, it's her fault, that gives them purpose. And that's why it's been growing so rapidly. And that's why it's perpetuating the problem. And that's why women are perpetuating the problem now. And it's like, there's bitter Bettys on both sides. It's like dodgeball. Like people are just slamming each other left and right. And I'm here on the sidelines. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch men and women hate each other. I don't want to watch anyone. I don't even like saying the H word. So finding someone that's genuine and worth your time, the best advice, be yourself. I know a lot of men think that they have to take a woman on a very expensive date as their first date. I don't adhere to that. I like a walk and a coffee, a matcha. At this point now, I'm down to like a water bottle, but I want it in a glass bottle. I think when you first, because we're so used to this, we're so used to swiping and texting, that I want to meet you face to face for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I want to check your vibration. I am a woo-woo spiritual sister, and on this channel, vibrations are real. And from your body to the tips of your fingers is how far your vibration travels. So I need to be face to face with you to feel your vibration. Okay. I need to know because my body will tell me quickly. Unfortunately, a lot of times, if we have unresolved trauma and pain, the wrong person is going to light us up. Yeah. Unfortunately, I hate to say something that you may not want to hear. Until you fix and heal your shit, you are going to magnetize shit to you, because you magnetize the shit to you so that you can clear yourself, so you can see clearly that there's shit, so that you can move them along, so that you have better glasses to find someone who's not shit. It's awful to admit out loud that you have to attract shit to clear the shit so you can see that they're shit, to get rid of the shit so you cannot date shit. But you have to do the work. This is why I don't post these on YouTube after, because it's just shit. Fuck. I said the C word twice already. You have to get through attracting your mother, your father, your first relationship. You have to stop attracting that repeat offender. And the only way you can do that is by healing through the experience, okay? Everyone has a different experience. Thank you for the gifts. Everyone has a different experience with their childhood. Everyone had a different upbringing. So like what hurts me doesn't hurt you, and what hurts you doesn't hurt me, right? So I can't speak on specifically what you need to do, but I need you to start paying attention. First of all, I need you to keep your pants on. I've been celibate now 2.5 years, because until I have a relationship with someone I feel safe, I'm not giving them my magic, feminine, ooey gooey, divine power. I've gone on a lot of first dates. I've gone on a handful of second dates. I've gone on 1 third date in 2 years. And he was 27 when we met, 28 when we dated, right? So he had a lot of avoided issues. He very visibly had mommy issues for sure. So you have to, first of all, meet them. Okay, I don't need you, like, trust. I'm a divine, ooey gooey, feminine, divine woman, and if I've met you or we've vibed a little bit and you want to take me to dinner, okay, all right, but I'm going to have an expectation of how that goes, because I'm sharing my ooey gooey with you by spending a sit down 2-hour experience with you. So there are places I prefer to go. There's mannerisms that I prefer to happen. I don't want to meet you at the restaurant. No, I don't want that. We can meet somewhere close to my place and we can go together, because I don't want to walk in like looking for you. That's uncomfortable for me, and you should be wanting to make my life comfortable. Also, it tells us on the way over if we like each other, because I'm pretty sure that in a safe, quiet environment where it's just you and me, we're going to be able to decipher pretty quickly if we even want to spend time together. All right, I'm not going on a first date to get a free meal. Bitch, I got enough money. I don't need you to pay for my food. That's not what I'm going for, okay? And by the way, I like to cook most of my meals in my gorgeous kitchen. So I'm going to go take my ass to Whole Foods and get better food than probably most of these restaurants offer. But I want to meet your vibration. And the, encounter that we have with the Uber driver, or how you drive, or how we walk, even how you walk me to the restaurant tells me something. The last guy that I dated was from the Netherlands, and he met me close to my building and we walked to our date. And I liked how he protected me on the sidewalk, how he checked the street before I crossed, right? He was gentlemanly. Ladies, we love those types of gentlemanly type things. So definitely that's what I'm suggesting. Oh wow, all the original comments. I'm all the way back to the very beginning. Let's see. So I don't know if that answered your question on how to, I don't remember what your even question was. I'm sorry, Yoda. This man, he deserves a medal. Yoda deserves a medal. I feel like none of these comments. Hi, Anthony. I'm really good. It won't let me go all the way back to the beginning. Let's see. Hey, Ron. I'm trying to actually get some questions here. Can a crazy person understand they are crazy? I don't think so. I don't think so. Thank you, Yoda. We do always attempt to better ourselves. Oh, it keeps jumping. I don't know what Fansly is, but now I'm gonna look it up. Fansly? Oh, no, I am not a Fansly model. Yes, I've been fasting. Was anybody asking about my fast? It's Prolon. Okay, so you're part of the problem because you're blaming an entire gender for the way you feel about your feelings, and you know who you are. I just blocked you. Fasting is so beneficial, Chris. Loss does change people, yeah. Well, Amira, thank you for letting me know that you missed my clothing hauls. My body has not been in a place to actually try on clothes, so unfortunately that's on pause for now. Let's see. There isn't really any questions here. Dear men who are shorter than 6 feet tall, it's not your height that makes you attractive. It's your integrity and your character. Yes, sis. Okay, Danielle, you're my favorite. Where did that just go? Danielle from hell. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. The way you treat people, the way you show up, the way you do what you're... A man that does what he says he's going to do? Oh my good. A man that you don't have to ask him more than once. A man that you don't have to ask him at all. Woo! You guys, I'm gonna wake the neighbors up. Oof. We can definitely build patience. Okay, so Stephen Williams, I would like to thank you for being one of the quality men that are on this channel. I would like to give you a shout out because I want to give you a shout out. Hello, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I'm an influencer. I don't know, but it keeps jumping. Okay, I'm just going to jump to the bottom because it keeps jumping anyways. But it looks like there's like really no... What's the best way to ask someone out? It depends on if you're meeting in person or if you're in a dating app or what the situation is. But I don't like to be text buddies. I don't like to like have a conversation long time via text. I want to, again, meet your energy. What is the best way to carry on a text conversation? You don't have a text conversation with a quality woman. A quality woman does not want to have a text relationship with you. She wants to actually hang out with you. She wants to actually spend time with you. She wants you to actually take care of her, do things for her, surprise her with things. Surprise her by listening on the first date conversation that she really likes a certain flower and then getting her those flowers. Having her tell you that her favorite song is this artist, and you find a YouTube with that song, blah, 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 so you send it to her. Like listening to her say, oh, I really like this brand. And when you set up a second date, maybe you bring her to the store and you watch her pick out things that she likes. So you tell her that in the future, you know what to get her for a gift. I don't fucking know, but you don't text. I'm sorry. I'm 43 years old, so I'm outdated on this information. And I know that a lot of you love to text, but that is not the solution to finding connection with someone. If you remember back in the day, which many of you are too young to remember this, but cell phones didn't have texting. They didn't have it. So you had to go in this back area of your phone and send cryptic letters, and you had to type each number 3 times to get a letter to spell things. So you never were talking long. It would be like 3 to 4 words. That's what I want to get us back to. Ring, ring. Hey, Becky, can I see you this week? How was your day? Where would you like to go? That's what I want you to be doing. I don't want any of this. I actually had a man yesterday. We matched. He had commented about how he had lived in Egypt for 4 years. Because I had shared that I loved Egypt and I was trying to go back to Mount Sinai. And he was like, oh my gosh, I want to hear all about that. And I said, I don't find this to be pre-date conversation. He unmatched me. And he did me a favor in that. Because I don't want to sit here. I shouldn't be exercising my thumbs so that he can get some entertainment from his couch. No. Either pick up the phone. He didn't have my phone number yet because it was on Hinge. Plan a date. Plan to meet me. But see, he's probably thinking, and this, I'm going to defend his honor. He's probably thinking, I don't know if I want to go to dinner with her yet. But he never asked me what I would prefer for a first date. So maybe start asking these women, what would you like to do for a first date? Maybe they just want to go for a coffee. Maybe they just want to go for a walk. Maybe they want to meet up with their friends so they can have their friends help assess if you're a good person. Maybe they want to go to dinner, but they want to go to like a $10 Chipotle. Is that $10 anymore? I don't even know. Everything is so expensive right now. But ask her what she wants. That's one of the sexiest things you can do as a man, is ask a woman what she wants. What do you want? That's free. It's free to ask her what you want. It's free to communicate, no? I think speaking is free still. They haven't taxed that yet. So ask her. Ask her. But don't send paragraphs and novels and go on and like try to, no. If my rule, it's not like a hard rule, but like a broad rule. If after 3 texts back and forth, you have not made an effort to make contact, I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. And I'll tell you that. I will say I'm bored. When a man opens the conversation with, hey, you know what you're going to get back from me? You're either going to get removed, I'm going to unmatch with you, or I'm going to send this. Because why am I typing more than you? Don't you want to get to spend your time with my ooey gooey feminine energy? That's not me being rude. You are looking to get something from a woman. Don't lie, I know you do. Don't lie. I know that's what you ultimately are doing this for, okay? I, as a woman, need to see what sort of man you are before I give my ooey gooey to you. So, therefore, it is your job, cause and effect, for you to woo me, to want, to wish to give you the ooey gooey. And it depends on how good you offer the cause that you may receive the effect, because a lot of men don't know how to give a good cause. They don't know how to ask what I want for a date. I had a man that I went on one date with 2020, I think it was 2021, first summer of freedom. And it was a 3-hour date. He is a public figure. He is somewhat famous. And we had this amazing time. And he walked me partially home. We made out on the corner. I'm not a person to make out on the corner, but it was... And we texted for a few more days, and he ghosted. He disappeared. And he came back last week. Yeah, Mercury retrograde in Cancer will be making people very sappy, and people will be coming out of the woodwork the next 3 weeks. Okay, I'm just warning you. People are in their feels right now. And he came back and he was like, hey, I still think about us. You still think about us? We went on one date. And he was like, yeah, but that kiss was powerful. Yeah, I had thought so too. I thought I had finally connected with someone. And you vanished, brother. You vanished. And guess what happened? We had that exchange and he ghosted me again. Man, you have to see how infuriating this is to women. You have to see how that is like painful for us to continue doing this circus. Like, you have to understand how frustrating it is to want to keep giving men our time. So, back to your question of how do I have a text conversation? You don't, okay? You ask her out. You ask her out. The random guy from whatever, I don't believe we've been to the moon, so I'm not the person to ask about space. I don't know if you're like trying to neg me with that comment about space because you know I don't think we went to the moon and you just wanted me to say it again in a public forum, but I don't believe we went to the moon. I live by the Adler Planetarium, which has the alleged pictures of the boots that don't have treads, and then has the pictures of the footprint with treads. So right there, you've lost me. You've lost me. But I'm also unvaccinated. So I'm one of those people. Let's see. Let's just go to the bottom. Just gonna scroll. Okay. You wanted to be a rich celebrity and he, oh, thank you, Yoda. Oh, I just don't understand why men continue to be such babies. Now I'm gonna come for some of you, not all of you, because there are some lovely men on this channel. There are some lovely men on this chat conversation, but the men that blame women are babies. Okay, you had some unfortunate moment with your mommy or a woman at some point, and you are very bitter, and you are likely going to have a very sad and lonely life. While I have empathy for you and I feel sad that you are alone, it is your fault because you are allowing everything around you to damage your algorithm. You are weak. You are not strong enough to realize your power, your magnetism, how wonderful you are as a human. You are letting a woman on the internet crush your soul because you don't have self-love for yourself. Any man that does that does not love himself. Any woman that speaks violently disturbing about a man does not love herself. We are all born as humans without a book on how to do this. So your parents potentially did some things wrong, but that is the human experience. It is as I wrap up this live stream, it is your responsibility as a human to fix your shit. No one else is coming to save you. No one else is going to be there to constantly pick you up. That is your responsibility. Your feelings, your emotions, how you are perceiving the world you live in is only within you. Go rewatch The Fifth Element. Everything is within you. You are your creator. God lives within you, whether you believe in him or not. We are all God. We are all one. We are all literally the same. It's just you're putting value on other people and putting them above you, and then you're getting mad and jealous about it. Yeah, you're doing that. I don't believe famous people are more important than me. I don't believe wealthy people are more important than me. I don't believe homeless people are beneath me, because I understand that when you slice open, we are all going to bleed the same color. We are all going to have, for the most part, the same identical organs. So why are we behaving in a way that we're different? We're just all in a different reality of the video game. We're all just in a different level of the game. Some of you are playing Super Mario Brothers, and some of you are playing Tetris. Some of you are playing King's Quest, one of my favorite games, and some of you are playing Call of Duty. I think a lot of you that are mad at women are playing Call of Duty because it's anger, it's like killing, it's like negative, it's we're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother whatever. But as I wrap up this call, this live stream, it's not really a call, it's on my phone, so I feel like it's a call. Feels like I'm on FaceTime with 100 and something people. You are your creator alongside God. So you are witnessing reality play out in real time. And you are taking that information and you are inputting it into your algorithm the way that you wish to perceive it. Okay? I had a certain algorithm. I lived a certain life. I behaved in ways years ago that I would never do today. I've rewritten and rewired, reprogrammed my algorithm. And for the people in my stratosphere, my friends group, I don't make sense to them anymore because I'm not on the same algorithm that I used to be. I'm not saying that I'm at a higher algorithm. I'm on a higher vibration, but I'm just over here now. And they're all over here. And they can't understand why I want to be over here. But over here, I love myself more. Over here, I have boundaries. Over here, I respect myself. Over here, I didn't. They may respect themselves. They may have boundaries, but who I was in this environment was not good for me. So a hard part of changing your life and getting better is often leaving everyone else behind. And that's hard for people. That's something that a lot of people don't want to do. They're not willing to do that. So they never do because they're too comfortable. The normal feels too good. It fits too comfortable. Have you ever seen older people that are wearing clothes from like 20, 30 years ago and you're like, God, if they just got newer clothes, like they just wear the same. That's what you're doing with your thoughts. Your thoughts are like 20 years old. You haven't updated your algorithm. You haven't updated your programming. You haven't thought to look at life differently your entire life. You've been doing the exact same thing constantly, complaining about getting the exact same results. So who's the problem? Whose fault is it? Oh, right. It's everyone else's. I appreciate all of you that joined. We, at one point, had over 200 people, so that was awesome. I love these. British Luke is back. Welcome, British Luke. We're just wrapping up, Luke. We are all our own problem. I appreciate you for being vulnerable and putting that out in the chat. But you have to change who you were to become who you want to be. I really almost feel like now, after the past 58 minutes of me talking about this, I now don't see the manosphere as a bad thing. I mean, is it annoying and toxic? Absolutely. But so is almost everything in the world. But it's almost giving men an opportunity to see how toxic things are and pull themselves out of it. Because listen, I'm not going to act like I've been a fairy princess my entire life and I've been on the good side and that I've been nice and kind and happy and pleasant. Listen, I used to be dark. I used to be very dark out and in. My energy was not the light that it is now. I actually was on a phone call with someone that I knew very well in 2019 when I was dating my most toxic ex. And we broke up January 2020. And I haven't really seen her since because she was associated with him. And we had a dinner a few months ago and we're rebuilding our relationship right now. And she's like, Lisa, your energy is so different. You have a presence that says, I know who the fuck I am, and I have no concerns about what you think about me. And it is magnetic. It is magnetism in its finest. That was the nicest compliment anyone could have ever said to me, because I have worked so hard to get to this place. I've worked on healing myself internally so much, spiritually. I never had a relationship with God. I've worked on believing in my intuition, honoring my psychic abilities, speaking from the heart vulnerably and honestly and rawly, being vulnerable on the internet with no makeup. I mean, I have lips on. I did, put a little lip. Being myself genuinely and not caring if any of you dislike me. That's a superhuman power that you can't buy off Amazon. I'm sorry. There's no diet pill on Instagram or TikTok shop that's gonna let you buy what I've earned. And I think the human experience is for you to earn your freedom. I think it is up to you to break free from the shackles of the propaganda that's being put on you. And when you do one of this, you're just letting other people control you because you're a baby. You're weak. I hate to name call, but that is what it is. You aren't in your masculine power enough to realize that you're fucking awesome. I'm in my feminine divine power, and I realize that I'm fucking awesome. And you're upset that I know I'm fucking awesome. So you're gonna do one of these. That's it's almost comical to witness it, because it's like, oh my God. It's like when, your family members are fighting on Christmas and they both look crazy and you're like, oh my God, can they just stop? That's what you look like when you're blaming other people. Victim narrative it's a protection, right? I have empathy for people that need protection and are hurting. I'm not trying to say those people don't hold value. I think everyone holds value. Every single person on this planet holds value. I also believe animals hold value. I also believe flowers hold value. I will stop and look at a flower like it is a piece of art in the, what is that called? Where's the Mona Lisa? The Louvre, okay? I got my tarot cards here. I will literally look at a flower and I will be like, look at that line. How did that line get there? Oh my gosh, look at the coloration. I will look at a flower like that. I will stop my ass on the middle of the Michigan Avenue. And I will do that, because to me, it is all the same. How I look at that flower, how I look at an animal, how I look at myself, it's all connected. We are all oneness. And when you're doing one of these, you're actually scolding yourself, because you're avoiding doing the things that you need to do, that you're trying to avoid doing, because it's too hard. It's too hard to try. It's too hard to heal. I don't want to, so I'm just gonna do this. Okay, all right. That's great for you. I'm just gonna keep, and you can just keep, because I'm just gonna keep. The more I do this, the more you're gonna do this. You're just gonna help me do this. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Oh man, it fascinates me. I have to pause on this before I hang up. I want to take a poll. Let's see if I can remember how to do this again. I don't remember. I want to know how many, where are the polls? Love to Canada. Did you guys win in soccer yesterday? I know the game was on. I hope you won. Let's see here. I don't know where the polls are. Mike, thank you. Sleuth, thank you. I don't know where the polls are, but I was going to ask what ratio, and you guys can just put it in the comment section because I'm not talented with technology. What ratio do you think men are nice guys? And you can do it about women too. What ratio? I want to guess. I don't talk to a lot of people, so it's hard for me to do a percentage. I just have a lot of haters on the internet. So like if you were to ask me based on my comment section, I would say 90% of men are angry. But I know those are just like bots and trolls. So Yoda, you think 20% are nice? 48 Andrew, no, wrong. A nice man can protect his family. A nice man can protect his family. I actually learned something yesterday that my eye has a hazel ring around the outside, and allegedly there's a word for that. Let's see. Hazel and brown eyes. It's like heterochromia, and allegedly the two-tone eyes is what allows us to see into other realms and to see energies and vibrations. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, that resonates, because the more I lean into my psychic abilities and my intuitive beliefs, the more I understand my powers of being able to decipher energies quickly, the more the hazel ring is growing. So the more hazel, my eyes, they're changing. They weren't this hazel when I was younger. And I thought the last few years as they were getting more hazel, that meant that I was getting older and I was going to go blind. These are the fears that I have. I do have glaucoma, so going blind is a real fear. But I think it's the psychic abilities strengthening. But I got to go to the gym, you guys. It's 10:15. You don't have to joke about getting into the fifth dimension. You can go to the fifth dimension. It's called astral projection. There's like so many things that you could do. Okay, guys, I gotta go, but love to you all, even you haters, even you evil gremlins that say mean things about me. I love you. I'm not ashamed to admit that I love everyone. It doesn't matter if you're mean to me or you're not. It really doesn't. I'm not someone that's gonna perpetuate the H word. I don't believe anybody should H anybody. We all literally are oneness. And on that note, I thank you. Please make sure you subscribe. I love you. Bye.